We're joined now by Dr. Saleh Taghvaeian, our Extension Water Resources Specialist. And Saleh, you have some updates for us on irrigation and water resources to share today.
Yes, when we think about water resources for irrigated crops, we have to start with soil moisture because soil and the root zone is really our storage tank. That's where we want to keep water for the crops to use. So I looked at the Mesonet plant available water maps this morning for the top 4-inch layer of the soil. I see a lot of values less than 20%, especially in the Panhandle. In the western part of the state, southwest, central west, you also see values in 20s, 50s, 60s. That tells me that for that top 4 inches, we're still not where we would like to be in terms of soil water availability. And then when you look at the top 16 inches, I still see some low numbers. Now there are 2 ways to replenish soil moisture. We can naturally replenish that by rainfall, or we can add irrigation water.
So what does the irrigation data show you right now as we're kind of at this point in spring?
In Oklahoma, about 85% of our irrigation water comes from groundwater resources. We have 3 major regions in terms of groundwater access: the Russia Springs Aquifer, the Ogallala Northwest, and the Ogallala Panhandle. As you move from Russia Springs in West Central and then to Panhandle with Cimarron, Texas, and Beaver counties, the depth to groundwater increases as we move that direction. With the Russia Springs Aquifer, we typically see fluctuations in depth to groundwater from 64 feet to about 70 feet. And this year we're in that range, so it's not that different from previous years. When we move on to Ogallala Northwest, it's the same story. It's like other years. With the Ogallala Panhandle, we see a continuous decline year after year, and it's on average about a foot per year. So the latest number I checked for that Texoma was about 240 feet from the soil surface. That's with groundwater resources. We also have surface water available to growers within the Lugard-Altus irrigation district. Lake Altus levels are lower than they usually are. I checked this morning and the reservoir storage is near 36,000 acre feet. That's the 5th smallest storage reservoir when you go back all the way to 1991. So we sure hope that we get more runoff in May. However, the forecast so far does not suggest that it's going to be above normal forecast.
Guidance for producers, I mean, this is great information, but what do producers have a responsibility to do given some of the limited availabilities depending on where they are?
I have 2 recommendations for our growers. One is, if you haven't already done so, check your irrigation systems. Just do a comprehensive check. Start with the pump, start with the water source, check the pump, check the motor or engine, check the control and power boxes. If you inspect the system now, it could save you downtime, hopefully, in the middle of the growing season. The second recommendation I have for them is to monitor the irrigation applications, especially early ones, and the soil moisture, because in a year like this, we may think that we have to provide all the water when we can, and that could result in preventing the root system from developing extensively. If we end up with a lazy root system because we've provided more water at the beginning, and then when things got hot and dry and groundwater levels dropped, we could not provide that water anymore, the roots are not there to extract water and nutrients from lower levels of soil.
And last but not least, you have some fact sheets that people can access online.
Yes.
Okay, great. We will look for those. Good to visit with you, as always. And for a link to the irrigation fact sheets, go to sunup.okstate.edu.